the X-wing started to open. I was like, oh, I know what that means.
I forgot how bad.
The other movie.
Well, let's see. There was horrible, crazy voices for dubbing. There was ridiculous noises, ridiculous noises for karate moves, and there was that god awful orange blood. So you must have made me watch a kung fu movie.
I did make you watch a kung fu movie, but not any kung fu movie. This is a great kung fu movie. Not the best.
Dude, you and Wu-Tang Clan can tell me that all you want. This movie was horrid.
What? Okay.
I was so confused by the story. I couldn't tell who was the bad, who were the two people bad, who was good. Was this guy wanting this? Was it? I couldn't keep up.
It's a little convoluted at times. I don't deny that.
It made no sense.
It's very simple. So here's for people who have not watched. I will summarize it since you are confused. There is a gang of kung fu people who are called the Kung Fu People. That's right. They're called the Poison Clan, and which is a great name. The tagline for this movie is actually, I think, "Pick your poison." But anyway, yeah. So there is a gang. I believe there's 5 of them. They each have a very particular set of skills. We'll get into that in a minute. But basically, the shtick is that their teacher, who taught them all of their skills, is dying, and he is sending his new student, who has been taught a little bit of everyone's skills, to find them, and also to find the treasure and the money that they have, and to basically repent for their sins and use the money for good. But he needs to find out which of the gang members are good and which ones are bad. That's the shtick of the movie. So you have 5 badass kung fu dudes, and then another guy who is going to find out who is good and who is bad, and they're trying to donate this money to charity, basically. It's great. It's a great movie.
You told that, and I was all ready to make a good movie, and then I remembered what I watched.
You know, this is like one of the best cult classics.
I see that. I see it makes all the list of the top cults and top this and top that. And wow, I like I said, I couldn't keep up with who was bad and who was good. I kept thinking it was like Kung Pao the sequel. I was hoping. I will
say the one I watched it on Amazon Prime. I guess we should say when we watched Election, that was on Hulu. That's where we watched that. This is on Amazon Prime. And I'm sure it's a bunch of other places as well, but that's where I saw it. The syncing of the closed captions to the voices was super late. It did not match up at all. We were 3 sentences ahead, and they were just writing the sentence from back. But I don't know if that's on them. That might be on someone else. I enjoyed it. So the big thing, the reason I asked you to watch this movie is because of the thing it inspired, which is, of course, the Viper Squad, or whatever they're called, Viper Assassination Squad from the Kill Bill movies.
Right.
That was based off of these guys.
What about Kung Fu Panda?
I guess you could say Kung Fu Panda is too, as well. There is the Furious 5. That's true. And actually, the snake role in this was supposed to be a woman originally. So there are the 5 skills. There's the Centipede. He's super quick. A lot of, just quick movements, especially with the hands.
Yes.
There's Snake.
Chang Haishou Tian.
I'm not going to try and pronounce any names. It's directed by Shang Che. He directed all the Venom Mob movies, which this is the first one that kicked that off. And it's a Shaw Brothers production. And I think Shaw Brothers have some of the best quality in kung fu movies, generally speaking. I've watched 7 Venom Mob movies, including this one. So there's the Snake, which his style was kind of weird. He had
whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah, Okay.
And this was the first one?
This was like the first one. They did like 35 of these movies.
But didn't all of them die?
So here's the thing.
Except for like 2 of them, I mean.
Yeah. So here's how it worked. A Venom Mob movie just starred the same people. They didn't actually play the same characters, but they normally played the same character archetypes. I can never say that word. They normally play the same character types. So if you were the villain in this, the people who were the villains were generally always the villains. And the people who were the good guys were normally always the good guys. But they played different movies. But they just kept making movies together, and so they called them the Venom Mob.
Oh.
For all the other movies are completely different movies. Have nothing to do with this. It's just the same people that are kind of playing the same roles as far as like this guy's the good guy and this guy's the villain.
So yeah, I could not keep up with the people. When the guy got to the town to look for the rich guy,
I
couldn't understand if these 2 people, like the one cop and the one guy, were part of the thing, or if I didn't understand who anybody was.
Because they were hidden, you were confused. They were hiding well.
So it was a whodunit.
Kind of. It kind of was a whodunit. I mean, there was a big reveal at the end. I mean, the big reveal at the end is that one of the cops that you don't know is one of the members. But where were we? Okay, so there's Centipede, there's Snake, who has like a weird style where like one hand is like agility based. His hands were like 2 different sides of the snake. It was kind of weird. The third one was Scorpion. It was kicking based. 4 was Lizard. He's my favorite. He's always my favorite in all these movies. He's excellent. And the Lizard style was like he could like run up walls and like kind of stand on them. And then number 5 was Toad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he had like super impenetrable skin, like he couldn't be attacked. Basically, he was the immovable object or whatever that is. And so those are your 5 people.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was great. This is not my favorite kung fu movie. My favorite kung fu movie we will watch at some point, which is 36 Chamber of Shaolin.
I was just about to tell you, I'm going to put a ban on kung fu movies.
I'm going to wait. We'll wait quite some time.
Okay.
But we will watch 36 Chamber of Shaolin because that is a great movie, period, and a great kung fu movie. That is the best kung fu movie. End of discussion.
I probably saw it years ago. I did used to spend my Saturdays watching kung fu theater, so I watched a ton of these. They didn't, I guess, I don't know. I never quite understood why I watched them. I'm not saying I enjoyed them, but it was just a thing to do.
Well, here, look, it had a decent plot. It wasn't the normal, like you said, it wasn't the bad kung fu movie where it's like someone knocked over someone's fishing stand, which I know is the joke that me and you always do with these movies.
There was a vegetable stand, though, or a fruit stand.
There was a fruit stand. That's true. There was a fruit stand. I think the action was good. They had the Iron Maiden scene, which was really cool. Some of the torture stuff was great. They had the government being kind of in on it. They were corrupt and in the hands of some of the bad the Venom Mob.
I didn't even get that part of it.
So Snake and Centipede were bad, and Scorpion was kind of in for himself. Lizard and Toad were good. Snake was rich, and he was paying off the court in order to bribe and torture the person into telling everyone that Toad was the one who did the crime.
Gotcha.
I know you're completely.
Yeah, I don't know. This one just
enjoy the
this one wiped me out, man. You won this one. This one just kicked my ass.
Did you at least enjoy the kung fu?
No.
Really?
I thought it was horrible.
Especially that end scene. The end scene's like a pretty long fight.
It was very long and very long.